Offensive numbers except for Portis, 121 yards. Not a lot to look at, but the Skins win the game. When we return, well, the Jets on the road, and Kansas City had a lot in store for them. Meanwhile, late start in New York. Kurt Warner was the starter ahead of Eli to start last year. Kurt Warner leads Arizona into New York. How would the Giants fare on 9/11 day?
Presented by Miller Lite. Great tasting, less filling. Miller, good call. And in part by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. With Visa, you're protected.
There's only one place where top pop stars stop by for relaxed and revealing conversation, where they connect with a live audience. It's the world of much music, and it's today's most talked about celebrity showcase. Push one button on your remote control and be a part of the show. Choose the music. Watch live at Much, only on the Hollywood Channel.
لا تغمض عينيك، فالفرجة متواصلة على مدار الساعة. سينما واحد، القناة التي تجعل من بيتك قاعة عرض دائمة.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
NFL Primetime continues in Buffalo. Yeah, those are the 1965 AFL Championship jerseys. It's not Jack Kemp, though. It's J.P. Lossman at quarterback. Bills at home against Houston to Lee Evans, 42 yards. Later in the first quarter drive, Lossman avoids the pressure. And is he looking for Elbert Dubenion? No, it's Mark Campbell. It's 7 yards, setting up a field goal by Ryan Lindell. It's good. With the score 12-7 Buffalo, Willis McGahee for 17 yards. Later on the drive, second and goal from the one. Lossman gonna flip it to Jason Peters, the tackle eligible for a touchdown. 19-7 Bills. And then they play defense, Tom. Kale Spikes in on David Carr. Fumble! George Sames, Lawyer Malloy falls on the ball. I remember these guys.
I remember them as well.
And the Buffalo Bills, it's good to see that old Buffalo, but the new Bills with Lossman win 22-7. Expectations high. McGahee, 117 yards, but no turnovers, Buffalo, Tom.
And look at the numbers defensively there. The 9 for 21, 70 yards, 3 INTs on Carr. They're going to play great defense. They're going to play great special teams. Manage this football team. That's what Lossman did today.
And Lindell at 5 field goals. Meanwhile, Seattle Seahawks flying into very hot and humid on the field, over 100 degrees. Jacksonville, Mike Holmgren. Seahawks, opening days have not been great long before he's been there. Now, here's an oddity. Josh Scobie of the Jags and Josh Scobie of the Seahawks. Wait a minute. This is Scobie overload. Scobie's kick, returned by Scobie, and it's a fumble! And the Jaguars' Rasheed Mathis falls on it. So they are in business. But instead of the Scobie story, it quickly turned into, and we are reminded that he's one of the stars, still unsung, Jimmy Smith.
Yeah, he's one of the best receivers in this league. He does this every single year. He comes up as the go-to guy for whoever's playing quarterback, and he does the exact same thing, deep, intermediate, and short.
Byron Leftwich, 30 yards to Smith, who caught 7 today for 130. 13-7 Jaguars. Seahawks have leading 14-13, but Leftwich, how about that to Smith? He's done this for years and years and years when they were a step away from the Super Bowl, and now they have playoff hopes again, and he's still with them, Tom. 20-14 Jags. Matt Hasselbeck under pressure. He avoids one. Pat just kind of flung. You can't do it. Intercepted by Darryl Smith. So the Smiths, the Scobies, they're all there. And then Aiken Adell. Boom! Fumble. 3 sacks, 3 picks, 2 fumbles. Hey, Jacksonville defense all over Hasselbeck and the Seahawks. And Jacksonville starts off. They started so strong last year, they win 26-14.
Yeah, you're talking about another team with outstanding defense, a quarterback who plays pretty darn good, a go-to receiver, big 3 on offense, running back, quarterback, wide receiver, outstanding defense. Just play your game, manage the game.
When we return on Week 1 of NFL Prime Time, the Broncos undefeated in preseason. It was hot in Miami, Tom. The Bengals offense in high gear in Cleveland in the Battle of Ohio. And more on an unbelievable day for Jim Haslett and the Saints. We'll hear from the coach and the fans. Plenty coming up.
موسم
The Fantasy Ticker, brought to you by Chevy, the new Chevrolets, an American revolution.
3 gentlemen who have certainly waited their chance. New coaches in the NFL, and that would be Nick Saban of the Miami Dolphins. That would be Romeo Crennel of the Cleveland Browns. Mike Nolan of the San Francisco 49ers. Usually, opening day, maybe one breaks through. But this opening day would be different. Let's start with Denver at Miami. And Nick Saban taking over because the Dolphins won only 4 games last year. But Jake Plummer coming off a 4,000-yard season and an undefeated preseason, but a lot of interceptions last year. Oh, those tricky Dolphins. Chris Chambers, one of the Chambers brothers. Time has come today. Look at the blockers downfield. He could go almost all of the way, but he steps out at the 21-yard line, sets up an Olindo Mare field goal. Very hot day again. These teams coming from the Northwest or the mountains to Florida, I mean, that's real trouble, Tom, you know.
Yeah, very cool and dry in the mountains.
All right, so it's 6-0. First and goal, Denver. Tatum Bell stuffed for a loss. You know Denver can run. Oh, he stuffed for a loss again. Remember how Miami played defense down the stretch for Jim Bates? They're playing it again today for Nick Saban. And Plummer throws it away, and Bell on 4th down stuffed, Tom. They went for it and were stopped. Then, 3rd quarter, Champ Bailey comes down awkwardly on his shoulder, making a tackle. He says he's playing next week, but it's now been downgraded to separated left shoulder. We'll see. Dolphins now 20-10. Gus Frerotte to Marty Booker. He could go all the way. Holy cow, a 60-yard touchdown pass from Frerotte to Booker. Jason Taylor had a big game to the strip. The recovery. It's the hat trick, Tom. Look at Jason. 3rd turnover for Plummer, and his 5th fumble return for a touchdown in his career for Jason Taylor, tying an NFL mark set by linebacker Jesse Tuggle. A shocker in Miami. Miami all over the only undefeated team in the preseason, Denver, 34-10. Denver won a Super Bowl in this stadium, but they're 0-7 lifetime in Miami.
Yeah, and what an outstanding day for Gus Frerotte, the 24-36, 36 passes. You're going to throw an INT, but the 2 touchdowns. This is a definite upgrade for them. The defense still playing great. Ronnie Brown going to get used to playing running back, and you're going to get Ricky Williams back after a month. This is going to be a team to reckon with.
14 tackles, Zach Thomas today.
Woo!
By the way. All right, so Romeo Crennel, Nick Saban won. Rowan, congratulations to him. He gave out 53 game balls. Y'all get him, he said. Then Chad Johnson and the Bengals in to face the newly led Romeo Crennel Cleveland Browns. Chad Johnson had some fun with the Cleveland DBs last year with the Pepto-Bismol. They lost the game there. How about this? Trent Dilfer off the umpire Jim Quirk's head. It's a quirky play. Kosi Coleman, the lineman, catches it. Dilfer, Braylon Edwards, we expect big things from him. His first catch is a Brown 8 yards. Dilfer to Tom's 5th cousin, Frisman Jackson, from Western Illinois. He could frisk all the way. 68 yards, 10-10 tie. Dilfer psyched as a starter again. William Green here.
Yeah, take a look at the replay. William Green going to come back right here and throw a nice block to spring Frisman Jackson down the sideline for the score. And so, yeah, you got to have everybody involved in the play.
Well, the Bengals say we have some offense. Carson Palmer to TJ. You say Hushmanzada.
I say Hushmanzada.
It's a 35-yard pickup. Then Palmer to Kevin Walter. How about that throw for 15 yards? Then, last minute of the first half, this is where the team's going somewhere, make some mincemeat, you know. Palmer, Walter, and that's a 20-yard touchdown. Such a backbreaker of a tie game. All of a sudden, you go in the locker room up 17-10. Congratulations to him. And then the Bengals put it away in the second half, 27-13. Marvin Lewis's team has gone 1-4 to open the last 2 seasons. It's his 3rd year as head coach. It's his first opening day win.
And it's the most important thing for the Bengals. Forget the numbers. They need to get off to a good, solid start. They ended the last 2 seasons 8-8 after starting the seasons, as you said, 1-4.
And Rudy Johnson didn't get the start because he missed the team meeting, but he got in there quickly. He ran for 100 yards. The Bengals beat their cross-state rivals. When we return, Chad Pennington, high hopes for him and the Jets in Kansas City, turned the other way. TJ tells us why he was in trouble from the start. And Eli Manning and the Giants welcome back Kurt Warner. Warner in command of Arizona. The Giants playing in New York 4 years after. How would they fare?
Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. With Visa, you're protected.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime Week 1. Well, the New York Jets were just a field goal away from entering the AFC Championship game last year. The Kansas City Chiefs were just a defense away from entering the playoffs. But they made some changes there, and as Priest Holmes told us this morning on Sunday NFL Countdown, check out our new defense. Okay, we saw it. So did the Jets with his supposedly rejuvenated and repaired shoulder to Chad Pennington. This is our prime cut. Dick Vermeil used to coach Herm Edwards. He was one of his fine defensive backs in Philadelphia. A hug. And then Priest Holmes said, yeah, the defense checked me out. 35 yards. There's a run. And then, put him on the sideline. Grandmama, Larry Johnson. Wow.
What a 1-2 punch these two could make over the course of a season.
35 yards back-to-back, 2 separate backs, and it's up 7-0. Now, here we go again. Yo Holmes. Priest, no, not 1, not 2, not 3 Jets. He carries them all the way in for a touchdown. And you take a look again, and you go, we took a look. Maybe you should have.
Very Marcus Allen-like. He's right now the best touchdown scorer in the game in terms of from the 5 to the goal line. No one does it just like him. However, right there, he didn't quite get in. Wasn't reviewed. They got the score.
Chad Pennington, what an opening day he had. Pennington. Sammy Knight, one of the new defensive backs of the Chiefs. Sammy Knight, good night. Fumble number 1, Pennington. Then Jared Allen, Patrick Surtain, over from Miami, recovers it. Fumble number 2, Pennington. And then, now it's a new offense, but that's just a shotgun snap. He can't handle it. Fumble! But he recovers and somehow completes the Curtis Martin, but it goes as a fumble. And then, we're certain, at least Patrick is certain, that the Chiefs have improved their defense. He makes the interception, and although he is hurt on the play when Brandon Moore lands on him, concussion, he would not return. He helped set the tone. The lone bright spot for the Jets defensively, and you can see that he's not 100% yet, but number 24 Jets defensive back is Ty Law. They fought the law, and the law won. With the interception, forget it. That's it. Down, picked off Trent Green in the end zone. But it's 17-0 now, second half. Mike Nugent, oh man, he's the draft pick. He's going to be a heck of a kicker. But watch this, and cat scratch fever indeed for Nugent. Ball low and blocked. Pennington's day just keeps getting worse. It fumbled the snap. Oh my goodness, 6 fumbles for Pennington. One more, he could tie the record. More bad offense, Jets. Lavernius Coles. Oh, I mean, it was hot on Arrowhead, but it wasn't ridiculous. And then in the third at 20-0, in case you were wondering, Larry Johnson. What did Dick Vermeil say last year? Time to take his diapers off?
That's correct.
I think they're off.
They're off.
They're off, and so are the Chiefs. Boy, they're off. And they only gave up the shutout in the last minute of the game. So this revamped Chief defense, nothing to revamp about the number 1 ranked offense a year ago, Kansas City. 110 for Larry Johnson, 85 for Priest, and 7 fumbles overall by the Jets. As we go inside the numbers, Chad's 6 make him 1 shy of, oddly enough, a Hall of Famer. proving that anyone can have this kind of day.
That's right.
Len Dawson fumbled 7 times for the AFL Chiefs in '64, but it ties Kurt Warner opening day at the Meadowlands a couple of years ago. Brett once, Dave Craig, and here's a name you don't put up very often, Sam Echeverry. 6 fumbles.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's opening day. I know, but a lot of times it's opening day.
Yes,
but it was more than that. And I think so much interest in the New York Football Jets and how they're going to do this year. A lot of excitement about Chad Pennington, but some of that was certainly quelled as they went into this opening day game. You think about the things that you saw. We're going to start out with the miscues, the fumbles, the fact that they couldn't hold on to the football. Sammy Knight coming from the top of the screen on a blitz package, coming from the blind side. Chad Pennington doesn't see it. I count this as a plus for him, the awareness to get back on the football, recover it for your team. But here we see the exact same setup, bottom of the screen. Sammy Knight coming again. Chad Pennington this time sees him, causes him to lose his focus on a snap in the shotgun. Ball gets away from him. Then here, working in the shotgun again, and this is the real concern, the lack of arm strength. That time to Lavernius Coles, this time to Justin McCarron on the fade. Take another look at this from the opposite end zone camera. This ball wasn't long, it was short to the sideline. And I think that as you think about last year and what happened, the last 5 to 6 weeks of the season, we all questioned the arm strength of Chad Pennington. A lot of times we were told that there was really nothing wrong with him. And then in the offseason, he had reconstructive surgery of that shoulder. Now he begins the season and we see the same problem. I don't want to make any knee-jerk reactions to it. Maybe he's going to feel better. Maybe he's going to get better. But today, certainly, there was a problem. There was some sort of a problem with him delivering the football.
As far as the ball with a lot of moxie
putting the zip on the football.
And he's also trying to learn a new offense, so maybe indecision and not enough zip for one game. Only one game.
You can throw the ball deep, you can throw the ball short, you can check down, but they're intermediate passes that you have to put into tight spaces. They have to have some zip on them.
Well, they do, but only one game.
It's only one game.
That's true, but scary if you're a Jet fan for that.
If you're a Jet fan, you're worried.
Today was a day, certainly, in which we learned what the heart and the mind can do, and certainly the human spirit. It was 9/11, and 4 years ago, we all know what happened. The New York Giants were at home in a late kickoff, and so you know there was plenty of emotion at the Meadowlands. And so they were hosting the Arizona Cardinals, and this is how it went before the game with Kurt Warner, who last year was the starter, and Eli Manning was waiting his time. Plexico Burress, hopefully for Eli, his new favorite target, and all those wearing the fire department and the police department hats. And Jeremy Shockey, Giants came out of the gates great. There's a touchdown on a 10-play, 81-yard drive. Then, second quarter with the score 7-3, David Tyree picked off by Carlos Dansby, does his somersault and gets up. Boy, Dansby's a good-looking player. A 10-7 lead, 2 interceptions for Dansby, 13-7 Cards at the half. A third quarter, another story. Manning to Plexico Burress, 44-yard gain down to the 11. And then, Tom, Tiki Barber off a great year last year.
Yeah, Tiki Barber, a great runner outside as well as inside. That's the thing you love about him as a coach. He can do both.
And then Brandon Jacobs, the rookie, looks like the real deal, powers it in for the score. 14-13, the Giants, 63-yard drive to open the second half. Is it thunder and lightning? Well, Jibril Wilson picks off Kurt Warner. They saw him every day at practice last year, and he takes it back to the 21-yard line. Very next play, what you want to do if you're going somewhere, turn it into a score. It's Tiki.
Yeah, Tiki Barber straight up the middle, and he is gone for 6.
The Cards not giving up yet. It's 21-13, and Warner to Larry Fitzgerald. New Cardinal uniform. They scored 3 plays later with 21-19. Fitzgerald, 13 catches for $155. But think about this. Willie Ponder could go all the way with the ensuing kickoff. 28-19, the Giants pull away with an unbelievably strong second half. They win it by the count of 42-19. So despite some numbers for Fitzgerald, hey, look, 10 of 23 are not going to put you anywhere in any Hall of Fame, but 1-0, you win the games Eli Manning and the Giants did playing inspired football, no doubt.
Yeah, and the thing is, a good win for the Giants, and if you're Dennis Green, you don't want to see Kurt Warner have to throw the ball 46 times, and you don't want to see, conversely, Arrington carry 8 times for 5 yards. Those two things will not add up to a lot of wins.
If you're just joining us on NFL Primetime, the story of the day and the story for a lot of days is the New Orleans Saints playing, as Deuce McAllister said, for New Orleans, not in New Orleans, in Carolina, saluted by the Panthers fans who contributed lots of bucks to the relief efforts as well. Meanwhile, Deuce McAllister contributing 2 touchdowns. How would the Saints muster enough energy to pull it through? Well, with the score tied 20-all and under 30 seconds to go, Aaron Brooks to Joe Horn. They connected twice on the final drive. And then John Carney, the veteran, from 47 yards. Good. It's good. It's good. And the Saints win it. Jim Haslett and company, 23-20. Congratulations.
I think it's, you know, getting into meetings and getting on the field kind of gets them away from everything. But when they get out of there, they go back to reality. But it's, I think it's a great testament to the guys in there that they fought this hard. We were fired up all week. You could feel it. You could feel it on the bus. You could feel it last night. I think it's more meaningful for the people of the Gulf South more than anything.
A lot of us took that to heart and said, look it, you know, these people had to suffer for days and days without food and water in the heat. We know that. You know, so when we're out here tired or whatever, let's think about those people.
Well, this is almost my 200th game in the NFL, and I've never been so proud of a team to be on the field with them because they did show that kind of heart. They did show that kind of fortitude.
We're blessed. We're in a league that they pay us well. We have fun. We have fun doing what we do. But the people that lost everything have to sit on a cot with nothing. And I look at a big screen to see if the New Orleans Saints is going to win, just to make them feel happy. So it's all worthwhile.
And Joe Horn, so many of the players visiting those that have been displaying. What about the Jim Haslett and everyone in that organization putting together and playing for a whole region? It makes you proud. It makes everybody proud.
No one could help but be proud of that football team today. But I think about Jim Haslett, the kind of coach and player that he was. I'm not surprised.
It was a day of the spirit for New Orleans and 9/11. And there's more coming, too, out of San Francisco. Wait to hear that story. Meanwhile, when we return, no Culpepper numbers, and for Brett Favre, a late comeback. Things changing. Big Ben, sophomore jinx? Don't think so. Bus wasn't playing, but they got other ideas, and Tennessee bore the brunt of the Steelers. Visa Skycam gets you set for Sunday Night Football. Ray Lewis and the Baltimore Ravens at home against the Indianapolis Colts and Peyton Manning. It should be a heck of a game at the bottom of the hour.
Time for your chance to win one of 100 Philips HD TVs with DirecTV service for a year. Log on to 100yardblitz.com to enter. The code word is Inner Harbor.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime. Ben Roethlisberger, 13-0 regular season starter a year ago, a miracle year. Sophomore slump, maybe not. The dump pass to Willie Parker, and here's what Willie does. He pens his way 48 yards. He's got speed. While Bettis and Staley will be back in the next couple of weeks rest, it's Parker opening up eyes. Then the #1 draft pick was a tight end, Heath Miller. That's a perfect type target for Roethlisberger.
And you love the pickup right there of the blitz by Willie Parker off the edge to allow Big Ben to get around the corner.
Now Roethlisberger with Burris gone. Antoine Randall gets the start. 63-yard touchdown. Steelers lead Tennessee, who, due to salary cap hell, not the team they were, 17-7. They still have Steve McNair, though. Drew Bennett is popped. Troy Polamalu makes the pick off the hit. 20-7 Pittsburgh at the half. Tommy, Willie Parker, another element to the Steelers' offense.
Yeah, he adds a bit of speed and quickness along with power. I mean, he's built strong. He can run inside, but once you give him that little burst, you're going to get a nice game from him. 14 yards right there. There's a little power running 4 yards right there, and he's going to take the handoff right here. And again, inside, in between the tackles, and he is gone over the goal line. Boom.
22 carries for 161 for Parker. Bettis on the sidelines, loving it. 27-7 now. And then here we go again. Parker avoids the tackle. Watch this. Woo! Stiff arm. Speed. Oh, boy. And he's been sitting there. We saw him a little bit late last year. Okay, so Pittsburgh has won 15 straight regular season games. They thumped Tennessee 34-7. Ben, 9 of 11. That's all it needed to be.
Yeah, because they ran the ball 41 times today. We talked about consistency of game plan on Countdown. Bill Cowher gets it.
424 yards of offense for Pittsburgh today. Bucks at the Vikings. Bucks 12-20 since John Gruden won that Super Bowl 2 years ago. Dante Culpepper, first game without Randy Moss. But the Bucks say, hey, we got a Cadillac this year. Flash Mack and the Cadillacs. Culpepper picked off by Brian Kelly. Bucks still have some proud defenders from that Super Bowl team. Culpepper fumble. Dwayne White from Louisville. There you go. He recovers it. Tom, you almost missed the cue. You can tell we've had a long summer. Brian Greasy picked off by Darren Sharper, the former Packer. Does go all the way. But can you believe this 88-yard return is their only touchdown of the day?
Unbelievable.
By the defense? Vikings led 7-0. Bucks have tied it at 7. The pitch to Cadillac. Beep, beep. 19 yards for their #1 draft pick. Ooh. Same drive. Now 3rd and goal to 2. Greasy. Not the #1 draft pick, Alex Smith, but the 3rd-round pick from Stanford.
What a throw.
Alex Smith, the tight end, caught 2 today. 14-7. Then Culpepper to Jerome Wiggins from
East Boston, all of East Boston.
Look at him. East
West Boston, North Boston, South Boston.
Look, he's all about. Oh, but they called a touchdown back. Bucks setting penalties. Then Culpepper to Mo Williams off his hands. Brian Kelly with another pick. 3 picks today for the Bucks. 2 fumbles lost as well by Culpepper. With a minute and a half to go and the Bucks nursing a 4-point lead. Nurse no more. Beep, beep. He's in the passing lane. Cadillac Williams, 71 yards, 27 carries, 148. Hello to the NFL. Chucky's back. He's got the smile. John Gruden and the Bucks. It's opening day. Miami beats Denver. The Buccaneers go into Minnesota, and big underdogs beat the Vikings.
Yeah, we don't want to make too much of it, but this is a guy who had a quarterback who threw 39 touchdown passes last year. They scored their only one off the defense today.
When we return, Brett Favre, 205th consecutive start, 266 yards shy of 50,000 yards, but would he beat Joey Harrington and the Lions? The big Dallas reunion, Drew and Bill Parcells together again. The Cowboys in a tough game in San Diego. Moments away from Sunday Night Football. Todd Heap back healthy, tight end for the Baltimore Ravens against Indianapolis. In our primetime flashback, did you know that a tight end at Mountain View High School won back-to-back state championships in 96 and 97, all state honors, school records for receiving yards, most career receptions, and most touchdown catches? Look at Todd Heap wearing number 14 in high school. He's a heap.
High School Flashback is brought to you by Nike.
You are watching NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
There is another story of the human spirit to tell today as Mike Nolan makes his head coaching debut with the 49ers. And there's the number 72 on all the Niners helmets, Thomas Herron, the offensive lineman who collapsed and died after a preseason game in Denver. And this was the worst team in the NFL last year. Doesn't look like it today. Tim Rattay to Arnaz battle, and the Niners, who are trailing the Rams 6-0, saying, wait a minute now, Brandon Lloyd makes the catch.
Yeah, and Battle's a former quarterback at Notre Dame, so don't be surprised if you see that more during the season.
And then later in the drive, Rattay to Lloyd. How about that throw and catch? The 49ers playing with inspiration. Lead at 7-6 at Candlestick. Otis Amy. He was Fred Amy, but he changed his name this week, and now he's changed the game. Amy, the 25, avoids a few Rams, and wearing Gene Washington's old number 18. He could go all the way. We're going to change his name to TD, Amy. Wow. And then the Niners. Brate to battle. 6-yard touchdown. The 49ers, the worst team in football, lead the Rams at half 21-9 with a score 28-18. Mark Bulger to Sean McDonald. Can they do the comeback a la those Seattle games? They're capable. Bulger. If I can only throw it to Brandon Manamaliuna. Touchdown, 28-25. A minute to go. The Rams are down to the 33. 1st and 5. Bulger to Isaac Bruce. Behind him. Tries to make the one-handed, but Mike Adams picks it off. The Niners had onside kicks. The Niners, another try. What a win for Mike Nolan's squad. You know how the offensive line felt. The Niners beat the Rams 28-25 after the year in which they won 2 games.
Yeah, tribute to the human spirit. We've talked a lot about it today. This is another example of it, shining example of it.
Congratulations to Mike Nolan, who's waited a long time for that. That's for sure. His dad used to coach Gene Washington and those Niners 35 years ago. Brett Favre, including playoffs, 226 in a row, 205 regular season. Joey Harrington and the Lions at home. He has a new tight end. Marcus Pollard late at the Colts, 18 yards. Harrington to Pollard, always hit hard, and drops it in the end zone. Then Harrington to Pollard. You get the feeling
he's not discouraged. Yes, he's not discouraged.
It's a touchdown, 9 yards, 7-0 Detroit. Brett Favre and the Packers down 10-3. Big Daddy Wilkinson gets the paw up, nearly intercepted his Favre's throw. Then he throws deep to Donald Duke and the driver. Overthrown. Favre indoors. I mean, indoors. Brett to Antonio Chapman. Overthrown. Brett 27-44 for 201, so still we'll need another game to get to 50,000 yards. 3rd and goal, Harrington to Mike Williams, #1 draft pick, and puts it away. And the Lions, what an unbelievable offensive show, but they held the Packers to 3 points, and Detroit is the only team in this division that won today, winning 17-3.
And a pretty good showing by Joey Harrington, trying to figure out all his weapons, and I like him making use of the tight end.
And so Detroit starts. They play the Bears next week, then have a bye. Take an eye on them. Cowboys at Chargers, a superior game. LaDainian Tomlinson, the best running back in football, and he goes to the left side, bang, touchdown. 13 straight games with a rushing touchdown, ties the record set. George Rogers, also John Riggins, and the Chargers ahead. Drew Bledsoe in a 7-7 game. His career with Bill ×2, part 2, begins with a touchdown to Keyshawn Johnson and gives the Cowboys the lead 14-7. Look at Keyshawn.
It's a great catch right there. He had to reach behind him, ball thrown back there. Always had a great set of hands and always willing to run over the middle of the field, as tough as they come in this league.
14-14 at the half. Drew Brees had a great year last year. Had a good day today to Keenan McCardell wide open. His second TD catch of the day. 21-14. San Diego Superchargers. Here's what happened. Keith Davis came up. Trouble.
Yeah, you come up and you just look right there. Keenan McCardell gets in behind him. Good read, quarterback, wide receiver.
And now Bledsoe. To Bill's guys from different eras. Bledsoe to Keyshawn Johnson makes a great sideline catch, Tom.
Yeah, just look at the concentration again. The hands, freezes the feet, keep the toes in bound. That's a beautiful catch.
And very quickly, they ran up to the line so they couldn't get a review. Julius Jones sweeps to the left for a touchdown. Those tricky, those wily Cowboys tied at 21-all. Now Jones down to the 8 as the Cowboys trail 24-21, 1st and goal. 3rd and goal now, Bledsoe to Keyshawn, touchdown, 28-24, 3 minutes to go. One last chance, San Diego. Play action. Breeze to McCardell, nice throw between 3 defenders. Breeze just before the 2-minute warning. To McCardell, it's a 1st down inside the 40. Now 4th and 14, though. Dallas defense stiffens. Breeze floats it. Eric Parker makes the catch. 1st and goal. The Cowboys, Keyshawn and company, can't believe it. 1st down. To McCardell, broken up. 2nd and goal. Breeze looking for Justin Peele. Remember, no Gates today. Peele's the tight end, incomplete. 3rd and goal. Breeze to McCardell, but it's broken up. Now 4th down. Marty Schottenheimer's squad looking for the winner. Breeze to Parker, tipped and picked by Aaron Glenn. Goal line stand, Cowboys. What a game this was. And Dallas goes on the road to the AFC West champion Chargers, wins 28-24.
And look at the numbers for Drew Bledsoe, 18, 24, 226, 3 touchdowns. The big number not there, no interceptions, Boom.
When we return, a lot of great performances today, but week 1 game ball, we're going to combine on it. We'll be back.
Filling, Miller, good call. And in part by NikeGridiron.com.
The performance of the New Orleans Saints, it was easy for Tom and I to combine on our primetime game ball.
Something we've never done.
We've never done this in 19 years, but I think this was easy.
Absolutely.
When John Carney's field goal went through a region, maybe for 3 hours, got a respite of what they've been facing and what they will be facing. And our congratulations on an emotional day of spirit and heart for the New Orleans Saints, on the New York Giants at home on 9/11, the San Francisco 49ers honoring a fallen teammate. Pretty impressive.
Very impressive, the human spirit.
For Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching NFL Primetime. Stay with us here on ESPN Sunday Night Football. Week 2 in NFL primetime. Big statements trying to be made everywhere. McNabb finds love in the arms of T.O. twice. Brady's bunch can't stop the Panthers from getting super revenge. Culpepper's struggles continue. 5 picks while the Bengals are the soaring offense here. Manning a mere mortal. Tough day for Peyton against the Jags down to the wire. Pennington and the JETS Jets looking for a lift against the surprising Dolphins. And big trouble early for Michael Vick in Seattle. All that and more on NFL Primetime.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite. Primetime is Miller time. And now, here's your host, Chris Berman.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Week 2 of NFL Primetime. As always, with Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Well, okay, so after 1 week, there's 16-1-0. Hard to get to 2.
That's right, that's right. And if you get to 2-0, you've taken a giant step toward getting to the playoffs. If you go 0-2, you've taken a giant step back and lessened your chances of getting to the playoffs.
And we should say to everybody out there, you know you're at the ballpark today. You watched all the games. You're going to see a special thing Monday night. NFL Hurricane Relief Weekend is underway, and a great job by everybody who might have contributed at the parks today. Pledge line 1-888-635-5944. Website www.bushclintonkatrinafund.org. Doesn't have to be donating money. It could be donating. Just pay attention to how you can help. And, of course, what's happened in the Bayou on everybody's minds. All right, on to Week 2 in the National Football League. Okay, the Bengals. You know that wait a minute now. These are different Cincinnati Bengals. The Minnesota Vikings, Fred Smoot on defense talking with Chad Johnson. They had some words before the game that was more friendly, but not after this. First minute of the game, Carson Palmer, Chad Johnson, 70-yard touchdown. Wait a minute, Tom. The Bengals mean business again. Later in the first, you say Houshmandzadeh.
I say Houshmandzadeh.
That's Palmer to T.J. Houshmandzadeh. 14-0 Cincinnati in the first. Now 17-0. What? A screen pass to Michael Bennett. It's a fumble. His second fumble in the game. Recovered Cincinnati. Field goal Cincinnati. Can it be 20-0? It would get worse for Mike Tice. Palmer. And this is what we call a Schobel pass. Matt Schobel. Touchdown. 27-0. Tom, I believe you live in Cincinnati.
Absolutely, my hometown. You just watch the comfort level of Carson Palmer, and then watch Dante Culpepper trying to stick throws into cover 2. The corner dropped off. The safety came over. Either guy could have eventually gotten the football.
That was Delta O'Neal, and this is Kevin Case, the horn. And, I mean, Culpepper just... Oh, that one tipped. I mean, there's 3 Bengals. There's 4 INTs, but no, there would be more at 34-0. Culpepper picked off 3 times last week. Is going to be picked off 5 times today. 3 by Delta O'Neal. 7 Viking turnovers. 37-8. Cincinnati for Marvin Lewis with 64 points in 2 weeks. They crushed Minnesota 37-8. At halftime, they had 337 yards en route to 504 yards on this day. So the 2 ways to look at this. A, Cincinnati's offense. Well, we'll talk about that in a moment. Second, look, 2 games again. But Dante Culpepper looks like a fish out of water, doesn't he? It just looks off. 8 picks in 2 games.
Absolutely. He looks lost at the quarterback position. I think a lot of it has to do with the offensive line, the replacement of Matt Burke, the center, a rookie right guard playing, but include Randy Moss in that formula. The fact that he is not able to stretch the field vertically. Imagine yourself, if you will, in the red zone constantly, trying to stick throws into an area 30 yards deep. The defense starts to play closer to the line. They're not running the ball real well. All the pressure's on Dante to make plays, and you get the feeling he's almost trying to learn the game all over again.
Well, it looks like an offense different than the personnel they now have.
Right.
And it's hard to do that, to change in midstream. Meanwhile, the Cincinnati Bengals. How about the plan? You go back 2 years, Marvin Lewis, okay? Carson Palmer, your #1 pick, you're going to sit.
That's right.
You're going to watch Kitten play. You're going to learn. You're going to start in year 2, year 3, hello.
Yeah, you go back to last year, those games at the end of the year that he played against New England, that he played against Baltimore, you saw him get comfortable at the quarterback position. Chad Johnson, TJ Houshmandzadeh, now some third guys, Kevin Walter and company coming along as the 3rd and 4th guys. All of a sudden, they have great balance. Rudy Johnson, offensive line is solid. They are for real. I don't care who they got their 2 wins against. This team is for real.
The Cincinnati Bengals are 2-0, and the Minnesota Vikings are bad-looking 0-2. We're not even to fall yet. That happens in the middle of this week. When we return, question about could Donovan McNabb play after the Monday night injury? No questions anymore. We'll hear from McNabb. Lions, Bears, oh my. Bears home opener, a fun one in Chi-Town.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Great tasting, less filling. Miller, good call. And in part by Chevy, the new Chevrolets, an American revolution.
Since 1930, Joey Harrington and the Detroit Lions, they won their opening game against the Packers. They're playing the Chicago Bears. In Chicago, it's their home opener. Joey's staring down that Bears defense very hard. You can see that, and if you watch the highlights in a moment, you'll know exactly why he was staring down the Chicago Bears. Because, look, here's a division where everything can be up in the air. The NFC North division, where all of a sudden, Minnesota, trouble, Green Bay, trouble. We'll get back to that in a moment. Now we have the Bills and the Buccaneers, 2 teams very stout defensively. John Gruden has not won a home opener as Bucs coach. But today was different because in the heat of Tampa, Josh Bidwell punts it, and special teams, Jerron Bolden makes the play right there at the 1, and special teams could put you in this situation. The rookie, J.P. Lossman, first start on the road, throwback uniform, he's already out of the end zone at the safety. A 2-run homer by Aubrey Huff.
Yeah, you take another look at it right there. You see the arrow on his foot. Once he steps out, that's automatically a safety against, you see evidently every Buccaneer knew the rule.
Yes, 2-0, and now the Cadillac. They often call him Speedo, but his real name is Mr. Earl. Carnell Williams, 23 yards. He had a big game against the Vikings last week. And then, Paul, we've been waiting a while for this.
Do it.
We have to. Mike Good Hands with Allstott. Welcome. He's been that pinch nerve. He's played sparingly, and he powders it in for a 9-0 lead. Now back to the Cadillac. Beep, beep. Makes the move there, 19 yards. Third quarter here, it's 9-3. And at the 3, it's Williams again. And a little inside block with a tight end. He powers his way, Tom. and keeps on chugging at the one.
Yeah, you just watch him here. Deceptive power. He's not a huge man, but once he gets in between the tackles, he seems to always gain extra yards after that initial.
And the new sombrero, the Yucatan liquor stand, always give the Bills trouble. And the Bucs beat Buffalo by the count of 19-3. So the Buccaneers, they are 2-0 for the first time since 2000. That's back for Tony Dungy. We told you that the home opener finally won for John Gruden. This is a team, they allowed only 8 first downs on this day. They had the ball for 39 minutes, and even more so, all right, we're going to talk about the Cadillac. Lossman and the Bills didn't turn the ball over at all, and the Bucs still had that sort of defensive effort. So kind of a shade of the way they used to play, and they have a rookie running back.
Yeah, you play that kind of defense, and then you have a guy who runs the ball, and Cadillac Williams is giving them that dimension that they did not have last year. Let's take a closer look at him here. You watch Cadillac Williams hit the line. First of all, there he is, arrowed. He's going to hit the line. Look at the hole. All stop with a great block right there. But after the initial contact, once he gets the contact right there, he's going to stay on his feet for 13 more yards, run through 3 more Buffalo Bills. You, as a coach, cannot teach that. Again, here, he's hit initially at the 22-yard line. Somehow, he's going to make it out of the pack right there, go for an additional 30 yards. He's got 128 today, 276. That's the best ever for a guy starting off his first 2 games as a rookie.
It's hard when you come in the league with a nickname Cadillac.
Yeah, but he's living up to it right now.
Right and real smooth. Meanwhile, let's go back to the NFC Norris division, where Joey Harrington was taking that long look at the Chicago defense, which gave up only field goals last week, only to lose. It's a 10-6 Bear lead, second quarter. Bobby Wade. No wading in the water here. Detroit special team so good last year. Look at Wade. Could go all the way. 73 yards, 17-6. The Bears in their home opener. Then Harrington looking for Roy Williams. Nathan Vasher with the pick. And it whoop, but miscommunication. And it would really hurt the Lions. Meanwhile, Williams, Kevin Jones, not good words. Kyle Orton, the rookie, to Muhsin Muhammad.
And look at the confidence with which he threw that ball. He threw it into coverage, but he threw that ball with velocity, threw it like he knew it was going to get there.
And look at the lack of confidence of that ball. Joey Harrington picked up by Mike Brown, and this is what he does. So sorely missed when he was out.